All right. God bless you guys. So let's see. So it looks like we're live. And what I wanted to do is I'm just going live for a little bit because I wanted to um, just share a couple things, hang out a little bit, um, get into a few things that people love to ask me regarding family financial freedom, Airbnb without owning property, generational wealth, um, dad building legacy with their kids, and um, changing generational cycles, and just all of those kinds of things, and so I figured I'd just hang out a little bit because we got our challenge tomorrow, and it starts tomorrow, 4-day challenge, um and I like to hang out with my peeps for 4 days. We'll spend really just getting deep into that stuff. So and we're actually having a what are we doing today? Oh, a meet and greet. So everybody that's going to be on the challenge, we're meeting and greeting before the challenge starts. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. But let's see if I can see who here is on. If you're on, I really what I really would love to be able to do is to be able to just kind of like chat with everyone and not. Oh, I'm supposed to be going live on Instagram too. So hold on, let me get my IG situated because I'm supposed to be live on IG, but I didn't get it set up. So might as well just do that too. Let me let me do that. I hope I don't mess it up. I didn't get it all set up first. So so I'm not really prepared because I don't have my IG thing with me, my stand, so that I can do what I do. Um, so that's kind of not good. But let's see. Let's see if I can get it rolling. So we're gonna go live on IG also. How about that? And then we'll get into it. But what I want to do is let's see how fast I can make this happen on IG. All right. Let's see how fast I can make it happen on IG. Let's see. So IG, boom, live, boom, boom. That's it. So I think I am now officially live on IG. Let's see. Cool. I am. There it is. There it is. I don't know if y'all can see. There it is. I'm officially live on IG now. So I got everything going. I got Facebook, I got YouTube, I got my Facebook group, I got my IG. So let's see how this all turns out. So what I would love to do though is I would love to be able to I want to be able to just chat with everybody because like I'm here and I could be talking all day, which I ain't gonna do anyway. But what I want to do is I want to be able to really talk more about what you guys are interested in talking about. Because that's what's going to kind of keep me focused because I'll be all over the place because so so right now I see we got a number of people that are okay, so we got a number of people that are in. So why don't I just get into something? So what I want to get into is there, I mean, there's gosh, there's so much, but um so all right, so I got a couple things I want to share. So I was on the boat this weekend with some friends of mine, and some very, very dear friends of mine. And we had such a great time. So we were on the boat, we're out on the lake, Lake Canandaigua. It's really pretty. Got to hang out with their kids, which we had the the privilege of knowing them even before they were formed in their mom's womb. So, well, not no, knowing them while they were being formed in their mom's womb, put it that way. so, so in any case, we got a chance to do that. And um, and and just to see like today they're 20 and 17, I think something like that, 19, 17, 20, 17. And just to see how God has just like really grew those kids up with a heart, like they're so talented. They were so they they played multiple instruments. They love the Lord, word of God. They are just star like athletes, black belts in martial arts. Um what else? Creative, they could sing. um and technologically, like technology wise, they're just you know they they got this technology stuff down like it's nothing. And like they're no nonsense. They have fun, but they're not into all the crazy stuff that some I'll say some kids. I'm gonna say me, like when I was their age, the stupid stuff I was into, right? And so and then from an intelligence perspective, like their grades are just crazy. Like one of my friend, one of like his son, they this was his first year. I think it was his first year or second year ever not being homeschooled. So he was in private school. I mean, he was in homeschool all his life, and then his last 2 year, 11th and 12th grade, it's in his 12th. This will be his 12th grade year. He he went to um, public school, and they live in a nice suburb. And one of the things that he said was that um, it was so cool because he's in all these things. Like he plays hockey, right? So that's one. He plays hockey. He runs track, and he's a star hockey player. He's a star track player, and he just showed up. He plays multiple musical instruments, so he's in the band thing. I mean, he does, and all of these, and he's like super 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 smart. So he's in all these different groups and clubs that each of these clubs have like a whole different following of people. And he's got all these people that like just love him and like go to his house and all kinds of stuff just because like he's a leader in those things. He's not. And one of the things that he said that his dad told me was he came home and he said, "You know what's so cool, Dad?" He goes, "What?" He said in the school that they go to, because they go to this, they go to this public school, but it's in a very very uh well to do um um area. So the school district, and he said it's if you're not smart, you're not cool. So it's cool in that school to be smart. So it's cool to be smart. So like that was really 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 cool. Well, the story that I'm getting into is his parents, they're just his dad is like this computer wizard. His mom is this brilliant banker genius lady that just makes all these people money and investments and things, just crazy. And like they just love, like they are on fire for the Lord. They love the Lord. So good friends of ours, and they also had the privilege of we've had the privilege of them also having their hand in the growth of our children as they came up too, as they were coming up. So all right, so here's getting to the story. So when we were on the lake, we saw all, like there were all these beautiful multi-million dollar mansions, right? And all these multi-million dollar mansions, we were just, commenting on them and talking about different things. And the kids were like, I say the kids, they were, 20 and 17. And they, like, by the time we were done, they said, we already have our plan as to how we're gonna have our summer um beach home, one of these homes. And I was, and I was like, oh, really? Like, okay. And so I'm like, okay, tell me your plan. I wanted to know. I pulled off the side. She goes, well, and she gave me the plan, and she said, it's a 12-year plan. I'm like, oh, okay, 12-year plan, which means you're gonna be, so you're 20, you'll be 32. Okay, what's the plan? So her plan was like the job that she's in this management apprentice program with this good, really good organization, major national organization, very good company to work for. And so she's really smart. They love her. And she's like, well, my plan is, over the next, between now and then, I'm going to, be in these different positions. I'll raise up to these positions where I'm making significant enough money. And then my brother, who's now getting ready to go off to college, after he graduates this year, he'll go off to college and he's going to be in a great industry where he's going to be making a lot of money. And what we're going to do is we're going to pool our money together to buy one of these multi-million dollar homes. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, when you say yourself, like you're going to be making, multiple, like six figures, what does that mean when you say that? And what does that look like? She said, well, I figured, somewhere 250,000 a year by then. I'm like, okay, all right. And then your brother, and then together, by the time we're 32, we could come together, pull our resources, and be able to buy one of these homes. I'm like, cool. All right. So not a bad plan. Right. So, but I could tell you, my heart was grieved. It was grieved. And I shared this a little bit like with their parents. And the next day, I actually had pulled her dad to the side, and I was like, "Bro, like you did such amazing work with these kids. Like I am just, I like, I hadn't seen them in a while. I'm like, bro, like they are geniuses, man, and they're not like anyone. Like they're rare. They're like a rare breed of people." And people just think you're just kind of blowing smoke. Why, let me tell you why I'm telling you this, because it also relates to all of us too. This is kind of how we think. Like we got this long-term plan, 12 years, 15 years for financial freedom and building legacy and those kinds of things. And so we have this long plan, long range plan. And like when I think about sometimes my long range plans, like I think about it the same way I thought about hers. Up until like just the last year or two. So, and I'll tell you why in a minute, because, well, I'll tell you and then I'll get to the point in the rest of the story. Um because I was able to go, like it took me starting from zero in this new space to within about 24 months um generating uh close to about 1.456 million dollars or something like that. And all right, so let me get to the point. So one of the things I said to her, I was like, man, like, and I said to her dad, I said, bro, like your kids are smart. And oh, what I shared with her first was, you know, like that company that you're working for, like they know what they got. And, you're going to do very well with the company. And you're right, based on your plan, like you'll be able to make it. Like that's a great plan. At least you have a plan. A lot of people have no plan. I said, but like that's kind of like the plan I had a little bit. Like when I first started off in real estate, I ended up going to work for the bank and I became, I started as a bank teller and, I was only part-time and I did that for a couple of years. And the only reason I was part-time was because like my plan was like it wasn't that I wanted to work. I was just like my plan was, to have financial freedom and build wealth using real estate. But I was led to believe that in order to do that, you need to go get a job so you can go get loans and borrow all this money to buy more real estate. So that's what I did. And I wouldn't give them all my hours of the day because that was just part of the plan. I wasn't there to, it wasn't about trying to make money while I was there. It was more about just having a job so that if I applied for a loan, they can say I got a job and boom, right? That was it. And I figured that if I was going to have to get a job, I might as well get a job in an area that I'm going to need to, to learn something that I can use to help me to get to where I'm going faster, which, if I'm going to have my own real estate company someday, real estate investment company, if I'm going to be a multimillionaire one day, then I need to know about money and how to manage money and how to access money. That was my thinking. Like this was go back 30 years ago. Right. And then so that's what I did. So I did the teller thing for a couple of years, and then I got another job in the mortgage company, part-time again. Like I wasn't gonna give them full-time. They kept asking me full-time, full-time. Wouldn't do it until I got this management training position like she has. And this was like a national position where they chose 12 of us out of like thousands of applicants all over the country. I was one of the people that they they accepted into the process, and we all had to go through so many, a number of series of interviews at different levels of management. And then at every series of interview they would kind of just start clearing the slate and eliminating people. And then I made it to the last round where I interviewed with all the bank presidents. So we were going around interviewing with all the bank subsidiary presidents to include the bank itself. And at that time, I was with KeyBank, who's now, well, KeyBank still exists, but Society, they merged with Society back in the day. So anyway, and lo and behold, I was chosen. So I took that job, and then at the end of that management training is where you learn, during that training, you learned what you were like. You learned all these different pieces of the bank and how to manage. You shadowed all the high level managers and presidents and all that, bank vice presidents, and then you got to choose what area you wanted to go into when you were done with the training. And I chose commercial lending because that's where a lot of the money was. I got a chance to be around the money. I got the chance to lend money to understand. I had to understand companies and how they operated so that I could lend them millions of dollars through the bank. So that was it. And it was a very prestigious position. You pretty much start off making six figures, pretty close with your bonuses. And so I did that. And so I did that for like another 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. So I was in the bank 9 years until one day I got a wake up call. And my wake up call was, I was making a bunch of money. Like I'd gotten comfortable. I was making money. I was in what we like to call I was in the country clubs, and I was fine dining and playing golf with the clients, making over $100,000 a year. And then one quarter they played with my bonus. My bonus, I think, was like $25,000 that quarter, and I had to jump through all these hoops to get it, even though I'd made them all this money. And um, so the story that I told her was that um, when that happened, I realized, number one, I'd gotten comfortable because the reason why I was there wasn't because I was trying to make a bunch of money. The money that I was making was going to go toward my investments. But the reason I was there is so that it would prepare me for, again, my real vision, which is to be, you know, a, 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 a a business owner of a real estate investment company where I own real estate and it was building wealth that way. And so what I said was that year that they played with my money, I said, this will never happen again. So I went back in, I started really focusing on my real estate. And within a year, that year that I focused, I was still working at the bank, but I made part-time just doing my real estate stuff, like $300,000 cash that I made. And then at the end of that year, I wrote my letter of resignation to the bank. I was the bank vice president at that point. I resigned. I was done. I never looked back. Now, here's the point. The point is, after about 2 years, I was now making over $1 million a year, right? So my point was, the stuff that you're learning, make sure you learn so that you can grow and utilize that thing for, what could benefit you later. But like me, the thing that I used or talent that I gave, the time that I gave helped to make the company millions and millions of dollars, and I was only making 100,000. And then when I took that gift and those resources and I put them toward the thing that was for me privately, then I went from making $100,000 a year to making $1 million a year in just 2 years. And that was 20 years ago. So now, here's the thing that grieved me though. I know people her age or not, or really close to her age, 20, 21, 22, 23, that are already making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Some of them are making that per year, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Some of them make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. They're making millions of dollars a year, and they're only in their early 20s. And they're not smarter than her. And I know how they do it. Why? Because we're in these exclusive groups together that share a lot of information about the businesses we run. And so I know what they do. I know how they do it. Some of it is via YouTube's. It's all internet. It's all using their gifts, the things that they're passionate about. Same thing. Like I make millions of dollars with Airbnb, but it's not just through my Airbnbs. I make millions of dollars with Airbnb through my Airbnbs, but I also teach people all over the world how to do it, and I make millions of dollars doing that. So, and that's it. A lot of people have no clue that stuff is even possible. And, and I know a lot of people who make like tens and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just on YouTube or Facebook. And that's not selling anything. That's just providing good content that people want. And those platforms pay them. Like YouTube pays me money. Facebook pays me money. Instagram pays me money sharing content. I don't make a ton of money on Facebook or YouTube, but I know that those things, like it's growing every month. But that was never really my focus. My focus was never to do it for the purpose of doing that. It was doing it so that I can share, the gift that I have and help people. And then eventually what would happen is a lot of times when you help people that way, they do eventually get, want more of your help. And then they enroll in my academy and then I get to help them at a higher level to change those generational cycles in their lives and building that legacy with their kids, um, so that, again, family financial freedom, building that generational wealth, like those kinds of things, showing them how I did it with my kids, showing them what tools and resources I use on the Airbnb side, how I make it happen quickly. They follow, they do the same thing on the coaching and teaching side, show them how I do that stuff as well, how to get results for your students. And then when you get results for your students, you get results for yourself, because people pay you for those results. And then, like, it's the best of both worlds. And then more people want you to do the same thing for them, and all you're doing is the thing that you love to do. That's it. Like, it's really, like, in a nutshell, that's the simple landscape of it all. And there's frameworks of how we do it, so that whether you're helping one person or whether you're helping 100 people, you're not doing any more work. Whether you have one listing or you have 100 listings, like I have throughout here and between Florida and New York. Like, I haven't been to one of my listings in ages. I don't even own any of them. And once was a time where I owned a bunch of my listings, but one of my last orders of business, when my family and I decided we were going to change our lifestyle, move to Florida, right? So one of my last orders of business was to sell off all my traditional real estate, and I kept all my Airbnbs, right? My kids kept all their Airbnbs. So we have places between Florida and New York, and we haven't been to our places in ages. So whether you have one listing or 100 listings, you're not doing any more work when you set it up properly, right? So like when you have the ability to do that, now it's like it gets real. Like, being able to create financial independence, first of all, right? Having financial independence is like one of the first things to the first pieces to building wealth. Because with that financial independence, it doesn't mean you're wealthy. It doesn't even mean you're rich yet, right? Because there's a difference between rich and wealthy. There's a difference between financial independence and being rich. Having financial independence means that you're not dependent on a job, having to punch a clock for someone, give your gift and your time away for the income you need to support and pay your bills and things, support your family, pay your bills. That's financial independence. And the reason why financial independence is so important, and it's the key piece to building um, wealth, or getting rich and then building wealth, is because when you have your time back, now you can really begin to pour into the gift that is that that does generate that revenue. The gift and the passion that you may have that's generating that revenue, that's not directly tied to your time, right? So that's the key. So not having your revenue tied directly to your time. And so um when you have the ability to do that, now, like, you you're not limited like the rest of the world, right? You're no longer limited like the rest of the world. Most people in the world, that's why the top 1%, right, own 97% of the world's resources. And the reason they do is not because, like, they're 100,000 times smarter than you. Like, think about it. Like, Oprah Winfrey, just think about her for a minute. Magic Johnson, Elon Musk, um, um, the Amazon dude. I don't know why his name is slipping my mind right now. But think about them for a minute. These guys, like, Like they're making billions of dollars, right? Magic just bought the Washington Commanders. He has I think it's the Los Angeles Dodgers, and like he's like I believe he's part of the Los Angeles Sparks. Like Magic owns all these companies. Oprah owns like all, Harpo Industries. She owns the TV station, the book. Like she's got movies, and she makes billions of dollars. Elon, richest man in the world. Um, I don't know why I'm having a blank on what's his name from Amazon, but like these guys own they have billions of dollars. They all have 24 hours in a day, just like you and I. That's it. They don't have like all the money in the world that they have, they can't buy more time. They can't buy themselves more time. Now, like I'm only making a couple $1,000,000 a year. I know that none of those guys are, if they're making 100 times more than I make, I know, no, like 1,000 times more than I make. In some cases, 10,000 times more than I make. Like I know they're not 1,000 times smarter than me. I know it. You guys, I when I meet people like that I help and they start off, and some of them are already millionaires when they get enrolled in my academy. Some of them, many of them are professionals, lawyers and doctors, and some of them are um, teachers and principals. Some of them are law enforcement officers and military former as well. Some of them are truckers and retail, like all those things. Some make anywhere from 30, $40,000 a year all the way up to 150, $200,000 a year. Like, but I know, like, I'm not 10 for the person that's making $50,000 a year. 10 times that is 500, 20 times that is a million, 40 times that is 2 million. I know I'm not 40 times smarter than that person. The doctor that's making 150,000, $200,000 a year, 250, I know I'm not 10 times smarter than that doctor. Right? I know I'm not like that much smart. I'm not, and in fact, I'm not even smarter than those guys. I didn't even graduate from college. I ain't smarter than them. And I know Oprah and I know Elon. I know like Elon's kind of, but like these guys aren't 1,000 times smarter than me. They might be smarter than me, but they ain't 1,000 times smarter than me. Why do they have 1,000 times more money? Why do I have 10, 20, 40 times more money? Because of what we do with that 24 hours. Like our ability to generate revenue is not directly related to my ability to generate revenue is not directly related to time, like most people. I don't punch a clock. When you have your financial independence and freedom, you don't punch a clock. So your revenue is not directly related to time necessarily, unless you just created a job for yourself, and then it is, right? Elon and Oprah and Magic and like their revenue when they're sleeping, like right now, it's billions of dollars coming in a year. So billions of dollars coming in a year, like what is that number? So if I'm generating $1 billion a year, let's do the numbers. So $1 billion divided by 12 divided by 30. Okay. So divided by 12, that's $83 million a month. Divided by 30, it's $2,778,000 a day. Divided by 24 hours, that's $115,000 an hour is what they're making if to make $1 billion. That's every day, all day, 24/7, 365 days out of the year. You can't work that hard. There's no way you could work that hard to make that kind of money. While you're sleeping, like right now, we've been on this call, what, for like 35 minutes? They made, now, when I say a billion, all those people I that I mentioned make way more than $1 billion, right? So, but let's just say $1 billion. They made just in an hour, just in the 36 minutes that we've been here, they made 60 billion, I mean $60,000. $60,000 in a half an hour. And by the time we're done in the next 15 minutes, they're gonna make another $30,000. And then another 30. Like when I so let's break it down. 60. They're making $1,929 a minute. That's how much they make. $1,929 a minute. So every minute that we're talking, $1,929 is just. Can you imagine? Why am I saying all that? What I'm saying is that's what we have to get good at. When you're just sleeping, doing nothing, when you're setting up your stuff, you have to set it up so that your money is not directly related to the time that you're putting in. So what I did yesterday, am I still making money off of it today? What I did a week ago, am I able to make money off of that today? What I did a month ago, am I still making money off of that without me having to do anything today? A year ago? Like, and that's how generational wealth is built. When you're doing those things and they're just building on each other, and then your money's making more money. Now that's how generational wealth is built. Because once it starts to snowball, right? And that's, you know, so it's it's a concept that, you know, unless you've experienced some of it, which by the grace of God, like I can't make a couple $1,000,000 a year without doing some of that. My thing is I just don't do it as good as Oprah yet. And I don't do it as good as Elon yet. And I don't do it as good as Magic yet. But I already got it rolling. And now the goal is just to continue to help people to do it, to learn how to do it, to continue to surround myself with really, really, really good people, people that help me, not only to implement, but also people that I get to learn from who are already doing it. And then when I do that, then I just get better. And then the other piece is big piece, doing learning how to make your money continue to make more money. Right. And then when that starts to happen, then now it's like pouring pouring gasoline on the fire. It's just a blaze that it gets out of control. And then it's fun. That's when generational wealth is built. Right. And man, so all of that, I was just, why am I talking about all that stuff? If like, I don't know if any of y'all have, truly have a heart for, like, if God's really giving you a heart for having family financial freedom for yourself. Um, and I wish I can't see my comments. Like, if I could see comments, it would be so cool because then, like, I could see if somebody's saying something or talking to me. Let me see if I can find comments and stuff. Um, let's see. Yeah, so if anyone in like I can see my comments in YouTube. I just can't see my comments on this thing because I'm streaming from multiple locations. Oh, here we go. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, I see him now. What's up? What's up? What's up? Is who somebody saying no sound? Can everybody hear me? All right, okay. So Giannis, no, Janaris Adams, um, let's see, OC, what's up? There you go, OC. Thank you, bro. Jeff Bezos. Thank you. So Jeff Bezos, Janice said Jeff as well. So thank you. Yeah, so that's the dude from that's our dude from Amazon. So Jeff, and Jeff still has billions and he lost half of it during his divorce and he still's got billions of dollars. So all right. So like that, like is so when we start talking about family financial freedom, that is something where it's truly like like that passion that God gives us for creating that financial freedom for our family, like changing those generational cycles and um like that's there's nothing like that. Well, there's one other thing like that. There is one other thing. And I mentioned it. I mentioned it on my 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 mastermind group the other day, and it's a little bit provocative, but I was talking about like our desire for our mate, right? Our desire for our spouses. Like that's another thing like that God inserted in us so that like it pulls us together and it allows us to as he said in his first commandment to us, right? His first words to us is to be fruitful and multiply. Well, he created this thing in us, right? He created these organs that are just and just these emotions that draw us to first of all the opposite sex, and then like if we like when he shows us the man or the woman that he created for us, right? So he showed me the woman that he created just for me, my wife of 36 years. Like now there's nothing else that like I'm drawn to more than I'm drawn to her. And and it's and so those two things, like when he does that in us, it's pretty special. And can y'all relate to what I'm talking about, or am I like are we you know y'all with me on that? Um, so um, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm still if y'all can hear me, but in any case, it's pretty powerful, right? Obviously, he knows what he's doing, right? Um, but like that desire, like the desire for financial freedom and independence for our family. Like I could tell you where my desire comes from. And I know a lot of you may be similar. But my desire came from the fact that when I grew up, I mean, I grew up in some pretty ugly, impoverished situations. Single mom, not single because she started off yeah, I guess she did. She started off single because so single mom, but my stepdad at the time, who I didn't even realize he was my stepdad till I was like 13 years old. Like he and my mom separated at I think I was 15. So we had a broken home. Like he was, he was not the example of a dad that I wanted to be. And just because like number one, he didn't know the Lord, which I didn't either. But because he didn't, there was some things, he just lived a life based on his own pleasures, passions, selfishness, and stupidity that the world teaches us. So it is what it is. But it caused a lot of pain. Like it caused a lot of pain in our family because of it. And I had always vowed to not do the same when I grew up and started having kids. Well, guess what? I did some of the same stupid stuff. So that's why I can talk about them, because I talk about myself too. And by the grace of God, he didn't allow those stupid, selfish things to break up my family forever. But it was a time where I was separated from my wife for a short time. It seemed like eternity, but for about a year, and I almost lost her and lost my kids. And again, that's when I came to know the Lord, and that's a whole nother story. It just changed my heart and helped me to understand who who that woman was that he created for me, and the honor and the blessing the honor he gave me to be the man to walk through life with his daughter. He helped me to see that, and and helped me to understand what my responsibility as a husband was, and as a father was. And so when I learned that now, but then he gave me a different desire. He then gave me a desire for him. Like, he gave me this desire where I just wanted him. I needed him. And because I got that desire, and I just chased him. I chased him until I caught him. He wasn't running from me. I was running from him, but I caught him. And then when I learned about that desire, and he then showed me, son, if you desire me, if you want the things that I have for you, you want to be the man that I created you to be, the husband I created you to be, the father that I created you to be, the businessman that I created you to be, the son that I created you to be, the man of God that I created you to be, the leader I created you to be, then I'm going to give you the desires. He says, if you delight yourself in me, which I did, I shall give you the desires of your heart. He put those desires in my heart. So with those desires, now, as I desire him, now I desire those other things. But in those desires, it's okay. In order to have those things that he gave me the desire for, I need to do the things that he's calling me to do. Need to be able to do the things that he's calling you to do. One thing I used to say to my kids growing up, when I was teaching them and training them in sports and things, I said, when it came to working out and things like that, and it just was life in general, I said, if you're willing to do what most people if you're willing to do for a short time in your life what most people aren't willing to do, you'll be able to do for the rest of your life what most people are not able to do. And so, in order to have the things that he gave me the desire to have as a father and as a husband, as a father, as a man of God, as a brother, as a leader, a business owner, like, I need to now do the things he's calling me to do. And there's things, just ways of living and ways of approaching things, like, do the thing that he's calling me to do, serve the people that he's calling me to serve in a way that pleases him. So I had to learn how to do that. But in order to even learn how to do that, I now had to be the man, the son, the husband, the father, the leader, the business person that he says that I am. Not calling me to be. He's not calling me to be anything. He already said who I am. He said who you are. He created us in his own image. Right? He said in Genesis, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over it. Right? He said, I am the co-heir with Christ. He said, I am the salt of the earth, the light of the world. He said that I am his ambassador. He said that he sanctified me, separated me and separated me, right? For him, right? That's who he said I am. I don't have to try to be something that I'm not. I don't have to even try to be something that I am. Just be who I am. But first, I got to know who I am. How do I know who I am? Because he tells me right here. How do you know who you are? Because he tells you. But the difference is the world wants us to believe that we're something less, much less. And then here's the beauty. Like, it's really this simple. If you just be who you said you're going to be, then you're going to be able to do, you're going to do just naturally, you're just going to do. Because I can't, like, my kids can't be my kids without calling me dad, right? Because that's what they've learned how to call me all their life, dad. So they're my kids, they call me dad. They don't have to try to call me dad, they just call me dad, right? They don't have to try to love me, they just love me. I don't have to try to love them, I just love them, right? Be, like, I don't have to try to be, I just am. The world wants us to believe that we're less than what we are. So what I have to do is just what we have to do. You don't have to do it either. You don't have to try and be something that you're not. You don't have to try and no, you have to try and be something that you're not. You don't have to try and be something that you are, but you have to first recognize who you are. That's all we got to do. When we recognize who we are, then we got to believe it. Because the world's giving us all this junk to help us believe we're something less than all those things he said we are. Can I get a witness? I know. So, so can I get a witness? So, and then when we do that, all we got to do is just now we're prepared. Like, we just have to, like, we're going to just do what we do because we know who we are and we are who we are. And just being who we are, we're going to do what we do. And then his promises, he says it's impossible for him to lie. So then his promises are true, right? His promises are true that if you are this and you do this, then you will have that. So if you're a husband of my daughter and your responsibility is to love your wife as Christ loved the church, willing to die for her, washing her with the water of the word, presenting her back to me without stain, blemish, or wrinkle, then what? Then what? Your marriage will be blessed. Your wife will submit to you as unto God. Like, I'm not looking for my wife to submit to me as unto God because I'm, trying to rule over her. That's just what the word of God says. But I'm supposed to lead by example first, be willing to die for her every day. Not just, oh, somebody, pull the gun out, would I jump in front of the bullet? Like, not that. Cause yeah, I would, but what are the chances that happen? But what about when, like, she has a need or desire, or there's something that she does that I'm not, like, something that I want, my selfishness, something that I want for myself that's putting me ahead of her. Am I willing to die to those things so that she knows there's nothing above her but him, not even me? If I'm willing to do that daily, then there's nothing she wouldn't do for me, right? And it just goes perfect, right? And so that's just one example. right? And some of y'all may or may not get it. Like, I know it sounds kind of, and I know that's a thing. Like, some women are just like, I'm not, no, 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 and dudes are like, nah, 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 nah. But bro, I'm just telling you what I believe. That's just what I believe. Yeah, I don't have to believe it. That's what I live by. So, and by the grace of God, it works. So, but it's in everything. So, a father, what does it tell us as a father? The word of God tells us as a father to bring our children up. Fathers, do not exasperate your children, but bring your children up in the training and instruction of the Lord. Okay. Like, it's easy enough. It's no, not easy. It's simple enough. That's pretty simple. Bring your children up in the training and instruction of the Lord. I can't bring my children up in the training and instruction of the Lord if I don't know what the Lord calls for me to do. If I'm not following that, then I'm being a hypocrite. I'm not if I'm being the guy that says, "Don't do as I do as I say, not as I do." Nah, that's not what the Lord says. What did Paul say? He says, "Follow me as I follow Christ." That's it. So, be that example, right? And so if I'm getting the word every day, if I'm on my face every day, if I'm praying throughout the good and the not so good, if I'm loving, if I'm, um, I'm like I'm always looking to him and calling to him, um, then they know. They know it's not just dad just being this guy when the camera's on or just because he's trying to um he's trying to impress somebody. But this is how he is behind closed doors. This is how he is when ain't nobody watching. This is how he is when it is us, right? It's just that's what it is. And so I'm able to be the dad that he's calling me to be. You're able to be the dad, the mom that he's calling you to be. But you got to first know who you are. Be who he's calling you to be. Do which will lead you to do what he's calling you to do. And then you will have what he says you're going to have. Period. You want kids that are successful. You want abundance in your life, right? You want a marriage that is successful. Now, like that's the best chance you have. It ain't money. But it's nice to have all of that and have money too. It's nice to have all of that and have money too. And so, because what did he say? A good man, woman, leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So there you go. Right. So now I know I didn't come here with any I just wanted to just hang out with y'all. Hopefully that that was kind of cool. Maybe nobody appreciates it at all. But in any case, I just wanted to hang out. And tomorrow I'm actually going to be doing I don't know. I can't even see anyone's comments anymore. I did see them earlier, but I'm not seeing any comments. I don't know if that was helpful at all. If that was cool, if any of y'all can relate. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. I don't know. But if I am, either way, like um, like if what I was saying was that desire that he put in your heart, like you're much closer than you believe. Like if you got that desire, if you have the desire in your heart for financial independence and freedom, if you have that desire in your heart, then like you're not far away. But be who he's calling you to be. Be who he says you are. So that you can do what he's saying to do. And then you're going to have what he says you're going to have. He says it's impossible for him to lie. He said that. It's impossible for him to lie. So, and as I first started off talking about is that desire that he puts in your heart. He says, delight yourself in me and I shall give you the desire. Delight yourself in the Lord and he shall give you the desire of your heart. So when he gives us a desire, like if he's a father, like if you're a mom or a dad, like how much you want to bless your kids. And when you're blessing your kids, like, you know, um, like you want to just give them, like, especially if like they're a kid that doesn't give you issues, like you want to just give them, as long as it ain't gonna hurt them, like whatever it is you can. Right? I know. And well, he's the same way. Like if we're blessing, he wants to just give us everything he can. He says it. But guess what? He could give us all things. He's the creator of the universe. so 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 if he's if my kid, if I'm gonna tell them, look, here's the keys to my car, like I want you to take my car down to the supermarket, or down the street, or go get it washed, or fill it up. you know I'm not gonna just tell them to do it. I'm gonna give them the keys to the car. And if it has, like, if they need money for gas, I'm also gonna make sure they got the money for the gas to accomplish the thing, or to get the car washed to accomplish the thing. Or if they're going to get groceries, like, to get the groceries to accomplish the thing. Because I'm the one who asked them to do it. If the Lord's given us a desire in our heart, he ain't gonna just give us the desire and then not the resources to accomplish the thing. He's gonna also give us the resources to accomplish the thing. The resources come by way of, like, people, information, money, time. He's gonna give us the thing, the resources to accomplish the thing. We just have to trust him. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. That's what he says. Why? Because just like his peace, so does his knowledge, his wisdom, his logic. It surpasses all understanding. It doesn't make sense sometimes. Like, Lord, how am I, like, think about it. Like in this space, I talked about, I've only like a few years ago, no, so 5 years ago, I was barely making six figures in this space. And then within a year and a half of my first year in doing Airbnb, like I was making over $1 million a year. And I had zero experience in this space. So I went literally from zero to, in 24 months, making over $1 million a year in this space. That doesn't make sense. Like, who tells you you can do stuff like that? Like when I became an officer in the military, when I became a bank vice president, I don't even have a degree, y'all. I don't know any officers, and I'm just telling you, I know no officers in the Army. I know no bank vice presidents that did commercial lending millions and millions of dollars for one of the largest national banks in the country, that didn't even have a master's degree, let alone no degree. That don't make no sense. It makes zero sense. If he put a desire in your heart, now I know some of these, but where I started from, like, financially, when we grew up, it was poor. We were poor. I say poor and not poor because we couldn't even afford the other zero and the R at the end. We were poor, right? So, and we didn't own a house. What? Own a what? A house. So I didn't own a house. I didn't know how many. I didn't know anybody that did. But yet, I think that I'm going to be able to someday become a multimillionaire in real estate? Where did that come from? Oh, and I did it many times over? Where did that come from? That doesn't make any sense. But his logic also surpasses all understanding, just like his peace. Right? So like I can't deny it. Can't deny it. And if any of y'all are walking, are believers, you can't deny it either. Cause I know he showed up in many, 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 many ways. Right. And so I don't know, maybe I'm talking to myself. Maybe I ain't got nobody out there listening, but but either way, what I'm saying to you is if he's got that desire, if he's giving you the desire in your heart for those things that are so like that are special for your family, for your community, for your church, for yourself. If he's giving you the desire, like that desire where you can't even sleep. Remember I told you about, remember how I started talking earlier about the desire for your mate? Like there's nothing really more powerful than that desire he gives you for your mate. Well, that desire he gives us for those other things, that can come a close second, very close, other than our desire for him. And then that, that should supersede everything. But when he gives you that desire, if he's giving that desire, you can accomplish it no matter how many people out there trying to tell you you can't. No matter how many people telling you crazy. Because believe me, I've been told I'm crazy a lot of times. Because none of those things that I accomplished, I should have ever been able to accomplish based on traditional wisdom and man's logic. Doesn't make sense. But I did. Shouldn't even be able to talk. I shouldn't even be able to sit here and talk to you about how good God is. Because that don't even make sense either. Not based on the life I used to live. The way I grew up. So it's true. It's real. And you know, if he's giving you that, then he's also putting people in your life. Maybe that's why you're here. Right? He's used a lot of people in my life to help me. If he's done that for you, if he hasn't, like we have to be sensitive to those things. Right? We got to be sensitive and don't be afraid. Like don't be afraid to um um to pursue that, right? To pursue the people that he's put in your life and ask, Lord, what is it you have for me here? Um, but also, well, so I just say that to say, um, if you guys know me from Facebook, if you're in my Facebook group, if you know me from Instagram, if you know me from YouTube, if you know me just from, just because you know me, um, then you know that like that's who I surround myself with. Others like that who just have a true heart for him, a true heart for their first ministry, which is their family, a true heart for glorifying, using their gifts as well to help others and to serve, right? And but also a passion for serving at their highest level with the gifts that they have, right? And not allowing the world to make them believe that they're anything less than they are, and that they should feel guilty for having more than the world says they should have, based on the standards that everybody else is setting for you, right? We're the trailblazers, right? We're the legacy builders. We're the generational cycle breakers, right? We're the generational wealth makers for our family. And that's who, and we're the ones who do all of that and honor him by doing it. Like, that's the circle. And that's who I love to surround myself with. He uses me to help, and he uses them to help me too. And if y'all not in that circle, you have a chance to be every day. You have a chance to be every day. I mean, we don't just, I'm very selective as to who I do allow in those circles, right? I'm selective who I allow in my academy, but like my Facebook group, you could join the Facebook group. My YouTube channel, you can watch that stuff all day. My Facebook page, you can follow, like. My Instagram page, you can follow, like. My academy, you can't just join that. That's invitation only. And my challenge, like I do a challenge next week, the way we understand if how do I give that invitation? Not next week, actually tomorrow. How I give the invitation for people that are looking to be a part of my academy, who wants to learn how to start and grow their own 5 to 6 figure Airbnb passive income without owning property, so that they can also build financial independence and wealth, generational wealth for their families. Like the way I've done it, using the principles that I've used to help me to become the VP and the military officer and the real estate investor, making multiple millions of dollars in multiple real estate businesses, Airbnb, traditional real estate, um, the husband and the father, and like when everything else was against me, using the same principles to accomplish all of those things. Like being able to show you how to do that, and and so that vision God's given you, that desire he's given you for your family, for yourself, I can walk with you and help you accomplish that, just like the rest of us have, right? It's his gift. Like I can't keep it to myself. I could have just left it, kept it for my kids and me and the family, and just, but he's like, nah, I didn't give you that gift for that. I didn't give you that so you can hide your light under a bushel basket. Shine your light. There's others that have a heart for me too, that need to know. I gave you that gift for a reason. Share it. Reach the people, serve the people. And by the grace of God, he allows me to be a part of that, because he doesn't need me. He can do it without me. But I'm selective, and if I can help, then you're in. If I can help you and it's a great fit, I'm gonna give you everything. And we use the challenge. I spend 4 days with people in the Family Financial Freedom Challenge to first of all just help them. And then after the 4 days, if I realize that I can help them more and they want more help, then I give them an invitation into the academy. That's it, period. Simple as that. But the challenge is special. I spend 2 hours a day in the challenge. I mean, I get paid $5,000 an hour to consult in the real estate and Airbnb space. But I spend, and it ain't anything, like you're not paying any of that. So I'm giving of my time to spend 2 hours a day for 4 days to show you how to do those things, and to help transform, you know, the mindset piece too, because that's a big part. Remember I said you got to be in order to do. You got to, in order to be, in order to do, and do in order to have. So there's a mindset piece. And so I get a chance to do that and spend the time, and then if it's a great fit, then like you're going to get a chance to meet all your accelerator brothers and sisters that are all over the world, that I've had the benefit of being able to help accomplish those things. Thousands of people, over 1,000. and then now you're part of the family. So so the challenge actually starts tomorrow. It's a family financial freedom challenge. And the link to the challenge, if you don't have it, if you're on my Facebook page, there should be a link inside the Facebook page. If you're on the Facebook group, there should be a link inside the Facebook group. If you're on my YouTube channel, I don't know if there's a link there, but um but I don't know. It sounds like, I guess somebody's saying something about YouTube is not turned on or whatever. There's no sound. So I don't know, but if there's no sound on YouTube, then not sure why. But yeah, yes, there is. So I just saw it. So in any case, um, what I'll do is I'll drop the link inside of this chat as well, so you will have it. But just join the link. Right? You can join actually 2 ways. In fact, the challenge is there's a cost of $97 and $247. So the $97 is just general admission, and we spend an hour a day. Right? We spend 2 hours a day with VIP. VIP is where you get to ask me anything for the first hour. So all the VIPs, it's just VIPs. We're just in a private Zoom, and you get to ask me everything, and then you get like $5,000 worth of bonuses. Oh, I'm glad I remembered this, because I got also an announcement too about a raffle. So um so you get all these bonuses, but you get to ask me anything. So business questions, Airbnb questions. So you may be a host already. You may be a real estate investor already. You may be a business owner already. Like I can, we'll talk about how to transform, and just in a couple of moves that I give you, like you'll be able to double or triple your income if you're already doing some of that stuff. If you're a property manager, real estate, any of those things, landlord. But if you're just a beginner, maybe a professional, but you're a beginner in this space, like you can ask me anything as well about how to start. And I'll be giving you like some really, really good inside stuff that I give to just my academy students. And like, you'll be able to have, results like that, like literally same day. So you're going to get that. That's what you get. That's just some of what you're getting in VIP. And then the second hour, I'm going to be just training everybody. And so we'll be streaming that into the Facebook group that I have for the challenge. And then those that are general admission will be able to see that through through the live stream. But either way, you're going to get results. Now, one thing I do have also is I have what we call the our VIP guarantee, like put your money where your mouth is guarantee. And that guarantee is, if at the end of the 4 days, you don't believe that I gave you 10 times the value of what you paid, and you've showed up every day, you had your screen on, and it's a challenge. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of homework, not a bunch, just a little bit of homework, right? And you do the homework, like a little bit of homework, like doesn't take much. It's just to make sure you're alive during the time that we're spending together. It's just to make sure that, like, I want you to see that if you implement the result, you're going to get like immediately, right? So if you do the homework, you show up every day, your screen is on, and at the end of the week, you don't believe you got more than 10 times the value, I'm gonna give you your money back, no questions asked. We still gonna be friends, and all those bonuses that I'm giving you, you're gonna get to keep them. That's the VIP guarantee. Because, like, the main thing for me, and all my team knows this, is student results. That's the main thing for me. It's about student results. And the only way I can get student results, great student results, if you've done your research on us, you see the testimonials all our students have. The reason why we're able to get all those results is because what? I handhold all my students through the simple steps. They model my simple steps. They follow my simple steps. They model exactly what I do for one reason only, so that they get the same results. So that's so I could give that guarantee, because if I ain't getting you results, like I just wasted your time and mine. I don't want your money. And I wish I could give your time back too, unfortunately, because that's a lot more valuable than the money. But if I didn't know with everything in my heart that I can get you those results, I wouldn't be showing up because I could be spending that time with my wife and my kids too, right? Uh, so, so that's that. And then, so let me put the challenge link in here because I know there was some people that are asking for it. So let me just get it real quick. It's here it is. It's right here. Here. All right, I'm putting it in here. Now, this is the one thing I am going to say though. What I am going to say is it's in there. So what I am going to say is this. If y'all just curious and not serious, if y'all just curious and not really committed, don't even click on the link. Right? You could click on the link, you could click on it, don't matter, but don't get in the challenge. But if you're serious, not just curious, if you're committed, not curious but committed to that vision, that desire that God's given you for your family, for your life, for the financial independence, for the freedom, if you're committed and serious about that, then I'll see you tomorrow. Come, because that I'm going to tell you, if that is the case, this is going to be the best 4 days of your life. It's going to be life changing. It'll be and I guarantee that it's going to be life changing for you. So if you're not just curious, but you're committed, then join me. Like save your seat, and you gonna be with the rest of us that's already gonna be there tomorrow. Right. It's gonna be tomorrow 5:30 to 7:30. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And and here's the announcement. Got an announcement. So my team doesn't even know I was about to do this either. So my announcement is I'm going to choose someone that's either going to get, we just did this big old thing. We flew out to Pennsylvania, set somebody up with their Airbnb whole platform. Like we did the whole thing for them. It was awesome. Started getting bookings like almost immediately. And then we also do some training. So like I charge $200,000 to do that. And in our academy, like ain't cheap either. Like we got people that have paid us depending on where they are, 15,000, 25,000, 50,000, 125,000 for the different programs inside of our academy. It is like our jet mastermind. We're flying around on private jets and going and doing training and doing high level stuff on the yachts and things like that. Like in our circles with other big time investors and people who just truly have a heart and just are just totally sold out and for what the vision is God's given them for their family, and we just come together and we just serve at our highest levels. And as I said, like that, some people may think that sounds like a lot of money. Like I know it's a lot of money, but it sounds like a lot of money. Like in some cases it's a lot of money because if that's all you make, some cases you ain't even making that much a year, right? And you trying to pay that, or that's all you make a year, like that's a lot of money. It's not a lot of money because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money because that's a whole year of your time. But for some people, it's not a lot of money. Why? Because it's not a whole year of their time. Remember, if you can separate the money that you make from the time you put in, then it all costs the same, right? If you got a bunch of rentals, it's not time, it's just rentals. If you got passive income, it's not, or you got Airbnb listings, it's not time, it's listings. If you got, other programs, it's not time, it's sales and offers. If you got a business, it's not time. But so it's a lot of money. But the raffle that we have is I'm going to choose someone on the challenge where I'm going to provide them with like a day's worth of training for free. Like I'm going to take them through the academy. I'm going to give them the steps that they need, like a full day of training, and I'm going to give it to them for free. And if you're like a big time real estate investor or big time influencer with, hundreds of thousands of, like, it's either going to be that, or we might even just fly out and set you up. So one or the other, I'm going to choose someone at the end of the challenge, and you're going to get it for free. Right. And so that's going to be pretty cool. Now, if in fact we are going to fly out to you, this is what we're going to do, because I got a jet mastermind, and so a lot of my masterminds, they want to, like, okay, where we're going next. So what we're going to do next is they're going to fly out with me, and we're going to take our crew, we're going to have a film team, and we're going to come out and get your stuff set up. We're going to film it all, and then they get to see how everything's done. You're going to learn how everything's done. And then you can just continue to model and copy. So if you got a team or whatever, your team can model and copy and get your other places set up. And then we'll also show you how to scale without having to go to a bank, not having to buy properties. We're just the same way we do it, the same way I've done it and gotten my family. We've gotten just under 100 listings, between Florida and Florida and New York. And I don't own any of them. I used to own some, but I don't own any of them. So you're gonna be able to scale very quickly because you're not depending on banks and credit and all that other stuff, right? And you're gonna be making 2 to 3 times what what your normal rents would be. And then there's another level where you're actually making 10 times. That's a whole different platform that we use, right? So at that, like, that's fun. And so I'm going to choose someone, depending on who it is. It's going to be one or the other, depends on what level you're at. And that may sound kind of cool, but I thought it was pretty cool. In fact, it was a suggestion that someone gave me, and I thought it was a pretty cool suggestion. But I just love doing this stuff, and so that's just the way I get to add a little spice to the process, and it's exciting, plus bless someone in the process. So so with that said, the link is there. If you're curious, not committed, if you're curious, not serious, it was nice talking to you. Like, take that time. Don't waste your time spending 8 hours this week with me. Spend that time with your family and people that love you more than I do, and people that you love more than you love me, that really is going to appreciate that time. Don't waste your time just being curious. But if you're committed, if you're serious, lock in your seat, and this is going to be the ride of your life. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your family's life. And I'm going to walk with you hand in hand into the financial promised land for your family. So with that, God bless you guys. I hope this was helpful. And I will see you all, maybe some of y'all. See you tomorrow. And remember, 5:30 to 7:30. And that's it. So God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.